So if you're looking to improve the consistency of your strike with your irons and your drivers so you can hit them a bit straighter, hit them a bit longer, I want to bring you in on some insights I've just got from who I believe is the world's #1 coach, Pete Cowen. Just come back from Dubai, where he basically shared with me two major things. He said, with great players, they do two things, Danny. The first thing they do is they always have like a beautifully free-flowing golf club. They allow the gravity of the golf club to work in a nice, effortless way. The second thing they do is their bodies support that action. The bodies move in such a way to support this kind of beautifully flowing action. The problem with a lot of amateurs, he said, is like you'll see their bodies kind of sliding all over the place, or you'll see them impact like flicking here, or they're rolling their wrists. Now, what he did was gave me a drill that I believe is I thought it was really good at the time. I think it's absolutely brilliant now to help you feel how to create this kind of effortless motion so that you do get consistency with your irons and your driver. In this video, I want to share with you what that is and how you can step by step learn to start to perfect these two clubs particularly. Before I do though, look, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. At least videos like this one every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free downloadable practice guide in that description box below. So in order to help you hit your irons and your driver more consistently, we're going to cover three things today. We're going to show you first of all how you can create like this effortless feeling golf swing where the club is swinging beautifully freely. That's the first stage. Second stage is there's no point having a beautifully free-flowing golf club if it's moving all over the place. So I'm going to say stage two is how can your body support this motion so it's repeatable time and time again. And third and finally, you want to hit it further. I'm going to show you how you can quickly add some speed to this so you can gain some extra distance without losing any direction. So the first stage is to give you the feeling of a free-flowing motion. Now, if you were to grab a golf club, you could do this with me now, and hold it above yourself like this, and just let the putter swing. This is like a pendulum motion, right? So, and it's a lovely thing to feel to start with. A lot of people don't have this. Most people, when they're swinging, they're really wooden. When you lose control of the ball, it's understandable that you kind of want to add some control to the club, but we don't add it like that. We don't add it with lots of tension. We still need this club to swing beautifully freely. In an ideal world, we would swing like this because it's the most free and it's the most accurate. But unfortunately, we also need to hit the ball a decent distance. So we angle the club here. And we do this because when the club now swings and it swings on an arc, it's not dissimilar to like a speedboat and a water skier. If this ends the speedboat and the water skier is the club head, as the speedboat comes downwards, okay, what's going to accelerate the club? As the speedboat turns to the left like this way, the water skier gets catapulted out to the right. So this angular momentum, we call it, this is what gives you the acceleration, right? That's why we swing on an arc. So we need to, in a sense, we play a sport where the ball's on the ground. So we need a movement when we're swinging this club head. We just need to swing it up over a trail shoulder here, and we need to allow it to swing back to the golf ball here and through. So there's the first thing. So get a sensation here of allowing this head just to swing backwards and forwards over your trail shoulder here, and then over your lead shoulder here. So get some momentum in this club, right? Get a feeling of this. It will feel out of control. As you're doing that, allow the club to brush the ground on the way back and on the way through. So we're just adding some momentum to this golf club. That's stage number one. Super simple, isn't it, right? You'll need to kind of get rid of some of those tensions in the arms. A lot of time when I'm doing this with people for the first time, you know, I want a nice firm grip, but I don't want that grip to be adding those tensions to the arms. Allow those arms to be lovely and soft. So step two, how do you think the body should now move to support? If you now know the club should swing up and over your trail shoulder, how should the body help you do that naturally? So here's what Pete talks about, and this is the first part of the exercise. He talks about forces, push and pull. Now, sometimes it can get quite confusing, can't it? So I'm going to kind of try and put it in a language that's hopefully a little bit simpler. All I want you to imagine is this. I want your body to move in such a way that is working at the same way the club wants to go. So if the club wants to go up into this top trail corner over my trail shoulder, should the hips work around or should they work on some form of angle? I'd say if we work around, will that support the club? If the hips work around, the club works around, right? So I want you to imagine now the body working in such a way where this trail hip here works upwards and backwards. Yeah? Everything's working, look, on almost like pistons, on an angle. My lead knee is working down here, my trail leg is straightening here, and everything's just working this way. All it is working to support the club up here. Simple as that. That's the backswing. So if you can do that, most people don't. Most people, what they're doing in reality, they're either sliding off the golf ball, or what's happening is they're turning off the golf ball, and then they're trying to lift their arms up to try and get it somewhere where it needs to go. Get the body working in such a way which naturally supports, look, that swinging club. And all I'm really doing is I'm straightening my trail leg a little bit. I'm allowing my pocket to move backwards a little bit, and that's helping me just swing the club up here. Pretty straightforward, right? So that's part of the equation. Now, the trickiest thing, and this is the thing what for me, grab my alignment stick, wherever it's gone. Oh, there it is, hiding under my head cover. This is where, for me, I struggled. So this bit, on the way back, I absolutely got perfectly fine in my own swing. The second bit is what I see, not just me, but a lot of players starting to struggle with in some capacities, how to start the downswing. So he gave me this really brilliant drill. I thought it was good at the time, but now I think it's just brilliant. So you put it behind your lead leg here. And notice, and I like this angle because this is ultimately the line that the body's kind of working on. Now from here, how do you start down? Now, most people's tendencies, as is mine, is to, from here, simply turn the hips. Now the problem now is this. If I turn my hips, what I'm really doing here is I've wound up here. As I start to turn my hips, I would spin out the shot here and I would drag the club across the line of the golf ball here. I'd get stuck, I'd hit pulls, I'd get very flicky. The other thing that would happen is as I'd spun out, I'd sometimes be behind the golf ball and now start to kind of reach for the golf ball to strike it. What I see with worse players is they get here, they'll turn, now they'll turn over the top. They come over the top, they start slicing across the golf ball. So all that sounds really complicated, doesn't it, right? So how can you learn to feel a really great downswing? Take an alignment stick or a golf club, it doesn't really matter. Put it under your lead leg and put it across your trail leg. Now this is the only drill. Now you've kind of got your swinging club, you know which direction you're moving. Look at this. My trail legs is straightening. I've now got that kind of motion here. Now this is really important. I would do this. What I'm doing now is this. I am going to try and add more flex onto this shaft, leaving this alone. I'm not letting this leg come in. Look at this. Bang. There. So it's almost like my legs are working apart. Now it looks subtle, doesn't it? And it really is. This is what drills are about. Learning to feel how to start the downswing is not something I can tell you. I can't tell you what I'm feeling because you won't benefit from that. You need drills to give you the experience so that you know how to transition, because I cannot tell you what this has done for my game. It really hasn't. Not just this, the irons, but also my short game too. So as I'm swinging here, all I'm doing, look, is this. I'm pushing that knee almost back to where it came from. What this does is, as opposed to me spinning now, as I move it back here, move it into position, I am now, in a sense, moving that club back to where it came from. From there, I've got a lot of pressure in this leg. I am now going to push off that lead leg and accelerate that golf club. Very different, subtly, watch the difference here, look. Now the problem is I'm spinning too much. I'm starting to almost fall backwards, so I would use all kinds of stuff to put pressure on the golf ball. You don't always see it, but it's really, really subtle. So let me show you how I've been working on this and how you could work on it too. Now you start off very, very small, and I would grab that alignment stick or even a golf club like this, and I would alternate shots. I would hit 2 or 3 shots where all I'm doing really subtly is I'm getting that club swinging freely, and then I'm just going to go, I'm going to try and snap the shaft. And what I'm doing is for me, this is the key. Don't let this go. Don't let this go, because he wants to do it. Look what this does to my backside. Watch this. From this angle, it's a great angle. So this is what I would normally do. Versus, look at this. Makes sense? Very subtle. I'm working. Now that subtle motion allows me to get into my left side here, and now I'm in a place where I can just push off, and I'll show you what I've been doing to kind of improve the impact and the distance in a second, right? So I get myself set, started off really small, and all I'm doing is pushing back here, trail leg naturally extends to swing the club up here, and then all I'll do is I'll repeat, I'll do one or two of these, just get that sensation there. Now, even when I do this, I can still feel that my bum wants to go this way. Leave it there, there you go. Bang. There. There. Whew. Right. Get that sensation, and I play some small shots initially with this. Get myself set. Look at that. Beautifully straight. And even on that one there, I could feel my body wanting to just spin. But what the great thing is what the drill gives me is the feeling that I need to hit great shots. And even that there, which I think wasn't absolutely perfect, it's so much closer to where I want to be, which is why I'm getting more consistency. But I start really small initially with this, and then gradually build it up. So I would go back to the drill, and I would alternate, like I said, 2 or 3 shots, just again, get myself set, wind it back here, and then this, all I'm going to do now is this, move, there, there. This wants to do this, no, move it back, there. This stops the over-the-top slicers. People struggle with ball striking. This helps me get back to where I need to be here. And now once I've got that pressure here, we're going to go into the bonus step, how we add the power in a second. But now what I'm going to do is as I'm onto this leg, I'm going to push here. That clears that side, which allows me to release through the shot. Very, very important. Let's have a look at this, and then we'll go into the power in a second. Felt really nice and solid. There you go. So speed's starting to come up now. And that's kind of, in a sense, where I started. So started really small, just started to feel this, because these are very subtle motions. So once you've got the swinging club head, that's first thing. You might just spend some time doing that. Second thing, get the body working this way so that the club can swing here. And then this is the important point. How do you transition so you don't come over the top? Look at my backside. Which I do a little bit, some people do a lot. My bum would do this, that would get me over this way. No, no. What I'm doing here is if this stays alone, boom. Here, look, there. There, see the difference there? It's subtle, isn't it? But that is crucial, that's how you start down. Then you can work on the final bit, which was ultimately, for me, was generating the speed. Because once you've, in a sense, got, this is the golf swing really here. 1, 2, 3. So it's like 1, 2, 3. The final bit there, that final punch, is almost, in a sense, natural, because as I'm letting this club swing beautifully freely, what's going to accelerate it? And the biggest problem I see with a lot of golfers from here, when they're coming down, they focus so much on getting rotation in the golf swing. I do not want you to turn. Turning is a natural byproduct of this. Watch this. As I'm transferring here, look, 1. Now, I've got a lot of pressure in this foot here. What gets that hip moving out of the way? Clearing is not me actively trying to turn it. I'm pushing here, and that accelerates the club. So I've got a pulling back of here, pushing this way, and pushing like pistons almost, which fires the momentum of this club through that impact area. Hugely, hugely simple once you get it. And it's natural. I mean, it's, you know, I'm talking about these motions and they can seem complicated. Do the exercises and you all will start to come together. So, free flowing motion, back into, oh no, I almost did it there, look, there, habit, 1, feel that motion there, feel it, okay, and then, here we go, right? So get myself set. You can see, even it's instinctive. I've done it for so long. 1, 2, go. Good starting point. Like it. All right. So we start there initially, right? With a driver, it's absolutely no different. In fact, if anything, it really, really helps. See, a lot of times if you're struggling with a driver, what's tending to happen is, notice what happens here. First of all, you can't generate any speed unless you kind of get this motion on the way back. where we're creating this swinging golf club on an arc, if you then do this, you're coming down, you're starting to chop down on the golf ball. We want this club accelerating but under control. Well, if I'm here, look, and I transition correctly, don't let this pop out. If I transition correctly here, now I've got a lot of pressure on this leg. What's going to happen? That leg is in a position to straighten, which pushes me hip back, which then releases the driver, which allows me to hit up on the shot, and hey presto, away we go. So I'm going to go into a lot more detail in the driver in another video. But for now, I want you to spend some time adding some momentum to this shot. Get a sensation of what starts that downswing. Use this drill here. It's absolutely brilliant. There, keep that trail leg alone. Look at this, almost like I'm snapping that shaft back into impact, subtly, there, no, see the difference? There you go. That's how you start your downswing. Once you learn that feeling, you can then start to add speed to it, and you're going to be amazed at what this does to your ball striking. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with your friends. If you haven't seen that video with myself and Pete Cowen, check it out right here. If you're new to the channel, press the subscribe button and the bell. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.